Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending on what part of the country you're in. For PC Tunney, it is the afternoon. For Raymond S. Cashington, it's somewhere.
It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
He's in the
For us on the
same
West
damn
Coast.
time zone as me.
Yes, and welcome into this edition of the Four Corners Podcast Live. We have this will probably be a fairly quick show because we've got some other stuff that we have to do live today, but thrilled to welcome everybody back into the show. Let me welcome my good friends to this episode. This week, I think like our fearless leader, Patrick O'Dowd, I think he actually was bowling for dollars this weekend, Tony, but now he's blizzard control out at UMass. So that is going to prevent him from being a part of this whole thing. But speaking of blizzards, let me go to you, Mr. Tunney. How you doing, buddy? It's like what, minus 16 there, or what's happening in the great
We've
state of
warmed up.
Wisconsin?
Oh, we're like it's a heat wave here. I'm pulling it up right now. Look at we're
wave.
above zero, bitches. It is 1 degree
Ooh,
outside. We have a degree.
nice.
It still feels like -7, but that's fine. Yeah. So at its peak, Friday morning, it was 17 below zero and a 52 degree wind chill at one point. I had the foresight to take off Friday and not go outside, so there you go.
1 degree.
Ray, how are
west.
things going in Houston, man? Is it that freaking cold there? It can't be that cold.
Boy said 1 degree weather. Turn the air conditioning on. Shit is hot. No. So I need you to understand perspective. Dave will understand this maybe a little better than Tunney because Dave
And
lives
Ray-
in California.
Ray, an air conditioner would warm up 1 degree.
That's true.
That's a good point. So that's a really good point. So it's 1 degree there. Again, perspective. Can you see it?
No, I just see your background.
It's
No, you're gonna
42.
have to
It's
tell
42
us.
degrees here.
Yeah.
How much? 42?
42 and raining because it's supposed to freeze tonight, tomorrow, and like the city is shut down for Monday. Schools are out. I'm not going to work. The company shut down except for like essential personnel. The city of Houston and all areas around have shut down for the day because expected to freeze. So I'm not going to be as daft as to say it's colder here than it is there. But I think comparatively to what we're used to, what you're used to, we probably feel like it's colder here than it is there. Plus,
Well, no
it's
one's
humid there, right?
no
Y'all
one's
have humidity.
no
It
one's
is a
used to
balmy-
-50.
It is a balmy 51 degrees here in Bakersfield, California. So I mean,
You say no one's used to -50. The motherfuckers in Siberia, that's ain't shit for them. That's just
Yeah.
Tuesday.
the guys in Tunguska, Tunney, remember we talked Tunguska a few weeks ago? They're fine with it. They're like, yeah, it's balmy. It is a nice tropical paradise of a day. Anyway, nobody here cares about the weather other than my daughter, who I think I told you guys. She went to Boston to see one of her friends, and it's like -5, and she's like, I wasn't built to handle this. I said, I tried to tell you, like you were laughing about it yesterday, but yeah, it's not so funny when it's actually minus anything is difficult. But we're not,
Miserable.
again, no one cares about the weather. We are here, we're going to talk about a few things here today, and we're going to start off by talking about the college football national championship game. And guys, I got to say, we were last week pretty pessimistic that this was going to be any sort of a decent game. And I think we were pleasantly surprised by what we got out of the national championship game. I mean, it was a hell of a battle. I know talking to Tunney about it, he was like, when I was talking to Tunney about it earlier in the week, and he was like, and there's a point to this. He was saying that he didn't feel like the game was really in doubt until the very last possession, where that very last possession where you got Carson Beck had the ball. And he had a chance to drive Indiana down the field. Or not Indiana, Miami, excuse me, to drive Miami down the field for what would have been possibly a game-winning touchdown in his final game as a Miami Hurricane. And of course, we know he threw the interception at the end, allowing Indiana to escape with the victory. But, I thought this was a hell of a game. It did get to the point where, I think like the first half was really dominated by Indiana to a large extent. Miami missed a field goal right near the end of the first half that would come back to be critical because they could have, they wouldn't have had to go for the touchdown at the end. But at the, they got a big break on a play early in the third quarter where they were able to get it to 10-7. And from that point, it was really back and forth. But, you got to give credit to Signetti, the coach of Indiana, especially that fourth down call, man. I was like, and I was texting Patrick and I was saying, this is dumb. Going for it on 4th and 5 deep in Miami territory. I'm like, just kick the field goal, take the points, put it back. Your defense is playing pretty well. Signetti's like, nah, fuck that. Mendoza calls his own number on the quarterback draw on that epic 4th and 5 play where he gets hit, spins free, lunges for, that is going to be the signature moment of his career, at least, for now. We'll see what happens when he gets to the NFL. Get used to those hits, Fernando, because you're going to be taking them in Las Vegas. That's for damn sure. But yeah, it was a stellar performance, an epic performance, and both teams, you got to give it up to both teams. And I thought it was a hell of a game, much better game than I think any of us thought it was going to be. That's my opinion. But Ray, let me go to you first. Your thoughts on the college football championship game. Did it exceed your expectations, or how did you feel about it?
I expected them to get blown out. So yes, it absolutely exceeded my expectations. It was a fantastic game. We did all on here come on the show and say that we expected Indiana to run away with it, but Miami defensively had the ability to get enough pressure with just 4 that they can make the game interesting. And to that credit, one of the first plays of the game, dude blasts Fernando Mendoza in the face, bleeds him and everything. So like Miami came to play. Got to give Mario Cristobal and them boys a lot of credit for the moment wasn't too big for them. They were ready for the moment. It was a lot of red down there in Miami, which was a bit shocking, but the people that was there in the green and orange was loud as hell. Uh, but you're giving Signetti all the credit, and he deserves the credit. I'm gonna show some love to Fernando Mendoza because I knew Mendoza could throw the ball. I knew he was a really talented quarterback, really talented arm, said all the right things, the right kind of CEOs type quarterback, like Peyton Manning-esque, right? I didn't think it was a dog. That boy's a dog. He got blasted a lot of times in that game. And that 4th and 5 play, that only dogs make that play. He's a dog. Like, it's one thing for a dude, it's kind of the old adage, real leaders lead by example. And the pictures you see of people, of managers who are sitting back letting people work, but leaders are the one doing the work first and everybody else is around them with them. I didn't know Mendoza was that kind of dude. That dude is a dog. He is a dog. And like Oakland got them one, or Vegas, Raiders, whatever. They got them one, bro, because he showed me a lot. One last thing I want to say real fast. My heart goes out to Carson Beck because he's had some of the biggest heartbreaks in recent football memory. But I want to say on this show, so everybody hears it, and we all say the same thing. That last interception was not his fault. It was the right read. It was a good throw. The receiver didn't even see the fucking ball. Now, don't really want you to throw. You should have. He could have waved the safety off. Safety saw it the whole time. But if the receiver is looking at the ball, he can close them out, and that's a jump ball if he wants it. He ain't even looking at it, and you could just
Well, I think,
see. You could see it's
yeah,
just like his dreams crush in real time. I'm sorry, Dave. Go
I,
ahead.
I think Beck may have done a wrong read there at the end and thought it was man coverage and didn't realize that it was zone, and I think it
He
was what the
missed the
safety kind of
safety.
just, yeah,
Absolutely.
safety bled over into the zone and made the pick, and so it happens, that sort of thing.
But the route, that's the problem I got, is
Yeah,
the receiver fucked the route.
yeah. Uh, Tony, your thoughts on the college football championship game? I know you, like we said, we talked about it, and you never really felt like Indiana was in jeopardy until the very end when they very much were in jeopardy. And so your thoughts on the championship in Indiana? I mean, what a turnaround for this school. Known for their basketball excellence. Now they're the national champions in football. Uh, 3 years ago, you would have been laughed off the street if you'd remotely suggested the Indiana Hoosiers would be the national champions in college football.
Well, Indiana is undefeated. Nebraska's undefeated, but Nebraska's undefeated in basketball, and Indiana goes and wins the championship in football, right? What a crazy year. Yeah, Kurt Signetti. Indiana hit the jackpot because he doesn't have any interest to go into the pros. That guy's going to be there until he's done coaching, in my opinion. The first half was 10-0 at halftime, and I thought, okay, well, it's probably going to be like 24-3 or something. But like you guys said, give Miami credit. Miami has some ballers on offense, right? Some top level athletes that a couple of them are going to make some big waves in the NFL. Fletcher and Tony, I think.
Yeah.
Cristobal has grown as a coach. That program is going to be very good for a long time, mainly because they both have money, right? Like Indiana has this blue collar Signetti appeal persona to them. Miami has their campus, which is an amazing place to be
And
at
legacy.
school,
And
right?
legacy.
And legacy as well. As far as Fernando Mendoza goes, well-deserved Heisman. What a fucking season. What a great job of taking his team to victory in the national championship. I don't think any of the quarterbacks in this draft class are going to be very good. He's going to go 1. He doesn't have a strong enough arm, you guys. I just don't think he does. And he's not fast. He's just smart. And I think you're going to see him not be as good as they think he's going to be, but the Raiders don't have a choice because there is nobody else. That's my
Yeah, you're
opinion
not.
on it. That's what I get when I see him. I could be totally wrong,
I
but
mean,
that's
other
just what
than
I see.
I mean, the Raiders could do something unorthodox in draft too. The Ole Miss quarterback Chambliss, right at number 1.
Whoever needs
He
a
does have
quarterback,
probably a stronger arm.
The smartest thing a team that really needs a quarterback right now would do is to trade that back and get as much assets and help for the quarterback as in line and weapons and go out and sign Malik Willis. That's the number 1 guy that is available next year to play quarterback. That's a complete free agent, right? You either draft a guy or you go get a guy in free agency. Malik Willis is the best possible quarterback for any team next year that needs a quarterback.
Remind the world where Malik Willis played this past year.
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
And the way you describe it, Fernando Mendoza.
If Miami's smart, Hafley just went down there. He knows what he would have in Malik Willis. You trade Tua. He doesn't want to be there anyway. You bring in Malik Willis, and now you have a dual threat running game between 2 lightning fast guys in HN and Willis with receivers and bring in another offensive lineman. Miami's a playoff team next year.
You're going to have to trade. If you do that, you're going to have to trade Tyreek. He's not going to play with Malik Willis. And I love Malik Willis. He's not going to enjoy that.
Tyreek Hill is so overrated now. He's going to do whatever he's told to do. Jalen Waddle's the best receiver on that team.
Everything you said except for that he's going to do what you're told to do, I agree with. He's overrated. But
he's a receiver. I know. He's a diva.
That's Tyreek Hill. Fernando Mendoza, the way you described him with the arm and not fast, sounds a lot like Drew Brees.
Well, Mendoza's got
if he can be as on schedule as Drew Brees became in his career, that's anybody though, right? I get it. I get what you're saying.
He's got that will to win and that intangible quality that you saw in this game that does go a long way.
And so does Jameis Winston.
Hey, look, Jameis couldn't see for his first 10 years. So I'm just saying, the boy just got LASIK like last year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Throwing blind.
Some additional news coming out of college football, and you know we got this news that came down was that they did consider expanding the college football playoff, and they're not going to do it, at least not next year. They're going to keep it at 12 teams. And I don't, it's fine. I'm okay with it. I think this was probably the best of the CFP that we've had so far with the 12 teams. The games were, other than the first round, and you've got to fix that. You've got to figure out, how do we get out of this conundrum that they're in, where you've got these teams from these mid-major conferences bumping out a team like Notre Dame, who arguably would have been a better
Notre Dame. Fuck Notre Dame. You brought it up. Fuck them. Join a fucking conference, because they also came out and said if Notre Dame is in the top 12 of the voters, they're automatically in. Why? Because they're Notre fucking Dame? Who gives a shit? Fuck them and their stupid gold helmets. Go away. Join a fucking conference. Miami made it to the fucking championship. You guys lost. Shut the fuck up.
No, the right team made it in there, but Ray, you look like you feel attacked by this.
I did a clutch with pearls. I was a little, you scared me a little bit. That was very vitriolic.
Very
and
aggressive.
And correct.
And correct, yeah, true.
But a little bit the attitude of aggression may be in Wisconsin today.
He's living up to the show's name. He's got that aggressive attitude going on about Notre Dame.
Oh, you should have seen me when the simulator was on the fritz the first minute we got there. I was like, hey, somebody get over here and fix this shit.
I'm okay with it. I other than the whole thing about that first round where you got to figure that out. They got the seeding better this year than last year. The games were much more competitive, especially like the Final Four. Well, not Indiana, Oregon, of course, but Indiana, Miami was a tremendous game. And I think by and large, the playoff came off as the best that we've had so far. So I don't, if they want to keep it at 12 teams for now, as they're still kind of tinkering with formula, sure, go ahead. That's fine with me. And then, when they get it, when the uproar to expand so that we can get more, so that teams like Notre Dame don't get left out, no matter how much Tunney hates it, then, I think they'll go to 16 and that sort of thing. But I'm okay with them staying at 12 for now.
12's the right number for now while they get us together. The one thing I disagree with you on, and I understand your reasoning, I'm not saying you're wrong in your thinking, I just disagree with it, is yes, Tulane and all these other, and James Madison and all these people might be getting their ass blown out, but if the whole point isn't to let everybody have a fair shot, what the fuck are we doing? So if we're just going to pick the people we think can win, then let's go ahead and do what Tunney said and separate everything. But if we're going to have one FBS and all 157 schools or whatever the number is supposed to have a real fair shot, then if Tulane's going to go and win 11 straight 12 games and go and get blown out 57 to nothing to Alabama, then that has to happen because they have earned that spot. That's my only issue with that. If everybody got a shot, everybody's supposed to have a shot, then got to give everybody that same fair shot.
Well, and I get it. They're hoping for that magic, that lightning bolt to strike, the big upset like you get in March Madness.
That Boise State situation.
You want that Boise State situation. I don't know if there's, with the transfer portal, who knows? You get the right player at the right time and you get some parity going on, and maybe
we're going all to the streams of earth. Indiana was the worst team in college football for the past 30 years. Mm-hmm. Last year they won 10 games. This year they won the championship 16-0. Like, it's very possible.
And that's the other thing to keep in mind. 16-0. Nobody, I think, like one team, Yale. They said Yale had gone 16-0, like in 1818 or something. The War of 1812, and Yale's going 16-0, and all this other shit.
Steve. It was post War of 1812, my friend. It was post Civil War. It was like 1890.
Andrew Jackson went there at the time.
No, Andrew Jackson. Lincoln was already assassinated. It wasn't anything like that. All right. You know what? Because we're going to kind of, Tunney, let people know about thechairshot.com. I don't know if we're actually going to take a commercial break. We're going to kind of put a placeholder in here for a commercial break, but let people know about thechairshot.com.
I got your commercial break.
All right.
Head on over to thechairshot.com. Tons of pro wrestling coverage, tons of podcasts, Chairshot Radio Network on all of your favorite streaming platforms. You need a t-shirt? Go to prowrestlingtees.com/thechairshot. Check it out. Makes a great gift any time of the year. And don't forget the new and improved attitudeofaggression.com. Awesome stuff over there. Tons of great content. Thechairshot.com, attitudeofaggression.com. You can't go wrong.
And new to the Chairshot family, go to onlyfans.com/thechairshot.
That's not true.
Is that new?
Everything I said, true. Ray just was trying to be funny.
Chairshot After Dark. There you go. You can go there.
Tune in when I slather my feet in mayonnaise.
Yeah, pass.
We just lost viewers right there.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I made $700,000 last month.
Why are you still doing this then?
I really like you guys.
It's a social interaction. I got it. Yeah.
No one else wants to talk to me.
So as Tunney says, go to thechairshot.com. We're going to cut here for those of us listening on the podcast. It'll be a real brief outro. We'll have a commercial. Then we will come right back to talk all about conference championship weekend in the NFL. Who's going to the Super Bowl, guys? We are about to find out. So you're listening to the Four Corners podcast here on the Chairshot Radio Network, a part of thechairshot.com.
This is your boy Kenny Killer telling you to make sure you check out thechairshot.com, bringing you breaking news, interviews, podcasts galore, everything pro wrestling. Make sure you check it out, thechairshot.com.
Fellas, we are back to talk NFL. Conference championship weekend and some hellacious games in the divisional round. We all had our preview last week. We all made our picks. I know I went a staggering 1-3, but I'll take it. That's all right. What you guys think of the divisional round? I mean, the Buffalo-Denver game is going to live in infamy for a while, especially when you look at the aftermath and what is happening in Denver right now and everything that's going on. Ray was absolutely ecstatic, could not get the smile off of his face. Josh Allen did not play well. Let's just put it that way. Too many turnovers in a game of that magnitude. Denver, you got to give them credit. Denver probably has to give the refs some credit as well for some questionable calls. Was it a catch? Was it an interception? I say interception at the end of the game there. And Denver went and they did what they needed to do to win to get to the AFC Championship game. On the other side of the fence, you had the New England Patriots who did what they had to do. I mean, you talk about quarterbacks just fucking up at the worst possible time. Josh Allen and CJ Stroud. The reason why it is not a Buffalo-Houston AFC Championship game is directly attributable to those two guys more than anything, right? I mean, and I know, Ray, you were very high on the Houston Texans, and it wasn't their defense that let them down. That's the only thing that kept them in that damn game. Drake did what he needed to do. The New England defense, which I kind of suggested to you guys was better than you gave him credit for, showed that they were better than not Tunney, but Ray especially gave them credit for. And I think even Pat underestimated the New England defense. They played their asses off. So you got that scenario. So before we get into the AFC Championship game, Denver versus New England, which is like a throwback to it's like going back to like the Peyton Manning, Tom Brady sort of stuff that happened. So but of course that's not the matchup we're going to get. But
it's too bad Bo Nix is injured because that would be like, hey, are we getting the second coming of the? Sorry,
I was getting there, Tunney.
You can't just leave those lines.
Burying the lead. I'm burying the lead.
When Ray and I are around, you can't just leave them softballs lying on the ground, buddy.
Anyway, go ahead, guys.
Throw
your thoughts.
them bows. Drop that bow. There it is.
As Tunney mentioned, big development came out of the Buffalo-Denver game. That Bo Nix, he broke his ankle, and therefore he is gone for the rest of the season.
Kneel down for the kick.
What's that? Was it on the kneel down for the kick?
It was on the kneel for the kick.
No, it was a couple plays before that.
John Payton said the second to last play of the game. The second to last play of the game was the kneel for the kick.
No, but then they came out and said later on that it was like 2 plays before that in the game. He stayed out there and was fine, and then he was like, okay, just go think about the kick. I'm pretty sure I heard that. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Unless I dreamt it. Then maybe
you may have dreamt it.
That's not dreamt it. It's a hell of a caveat.
I mean,
everything I said is true.
Am I awake
except if it was in my dreams.
Am I awake?
Simulation stuff to Dave.
Should have took the red pill.
So, yeah, we've got New England versus Denver, the AFC Championship game coming up it's going to be the first of the games tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
As Tunney mentioned, Bo Nix gone for this game. Jason, Stidham? How do you pronounce it?
Jared Stidham.
Jared Stidham.
Oh, Stiddy.
Who is regarded pretty well. Most of the stuff I've watched this week is really trying to paint this as a possibility that this game will be more competitive than it probably otherwise would be. And yeah, if Bo Nix is playing in this game, then obviously, I think we got a different conversation. But before I go to that, before we get into the preview of this game, your guys' thoughts on the divisional round and how Denver and New England got there. Whoever wants to jump on in here, go for it.
Go ahead. We'll go first last time.
I mean, gritty win for Denver against Buffalo. What a game. Like, that was the game of the weekend, probably. It's funny that Buffalo's owner comes out and was like, I went into the locker room and everybody was crying, so I fired my coach. I'm like, okay, that was stupid. Like, that was dumb as fuck. Like,
don't you dare make my players cry. You got to go.
Yeah, right. I still think that Buffalo's going to be a contender every year that Josh Allen is healthy until he gets old. It's the Texans, man. CJ Stroud didn't just turn the ball over. He looked like a moron doing it. Like simple things like off schedule, out of the pocket, complete vision, throwing it to people that he shouldn't be. Is it maybe time for them to move on? Is that a team that would maybe trade CJ Stroud to somebody that needs a quarterback for draft picks and sign a Malik Willis? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he just had a bad game. I think CJ Stroud's a good quarterback. I don't know that they're willing to move on from him. But he certainly raised some questions playing as poorly as he did in that big of a moment.
Yeah, Dave, you said that we probably underestimated the Patriots defense. No, we all knew they were good. What we underestimated was how bad your boy CJ would play. I'm in Houston. Y'all know this. I live in the Houston area. They have eviscerated this poor kid in ways that, like, I feel bad for him. And he earned it. He earned every bit of it, for the record. I'm not saying he doesn't. But the one thing that I heard about him that made so much sense, that was so true, was, and Tony kind of alluded to it, it wasn't just that he was turning the ball over. His body language looked defeated. Like, I remember a Monday night game years ago, where Tony Romo played against the Bills in Buffalo and threw 5 picks. I don't know about this one, Jim. He threw 5 picks, but they won the game because his body language never changed. He still felt like, I can be competitive. CJ was done after the second pick.
Well, by comparison, look at Josh Allen. Despite all the turnovers, his body language, and I know how much you love Josh Allen, Ray, but his body language never was defeated. He was never defeated until it was over.
These guys got nothing on Brett Favre. 6 interceptions against the Rams in the playoffs. Check.
I think Brett had that Jameis in him, that he doesn't care who catches the ball as long as someone catches it. I don't think he really cares.
Yeah, my contract says I get a bonus for catches. It doesn't say to who I have to throw it to. So, exactly.
There's a story that after his second or third season here in Green Bay, he's dancing at a bar in downtown Milwaukee, and he's on top of the bar. And the bartender's like, "Hey, get down." And he doesn't acknowledge him, and he goes, "Hey, Brett, get down." And then the third time he's like, "Hey, I need you to get off the bar." And he goes, "Do you know who the fuck I am?" He goes, "Yeah, 28 interceptions last year. Get off my fucking bar."
Yeah.
And Brett was like, "Okay, gotcha."
Nice.
To the Patriots game. The fantastic PR. The Patriots have amazing PR. I'm gonna tell you why. Drake May has played horribly the past 2 games. He's done enough to win. He's done enough to win. He threw 3 touchdowns. He's done enough to win. But he got a lot of turnovers himself. But the games that they've been in and the situations they've had, they played a Chargers team that quite wasn't ready yet. They played a Texans team that only 11 people came on the plane, apparently, because the other 11 didn't show up. You know what I'm talking about? But he's going to probably go to the Super Bowl because, as we've talked about, Bo Nix isn't there. I don't doubt that Jarrett Stidham will be effective. He was a quarterback for the Patriots. Nobody knows him better than the Patriots. That's where he started. However, even when Bo Nix was playing healthy and playing well, the Broncos weren't this offensive juggernaut. So I lean, even though the Broncos defense is probably better than the Patriots defense, again, no disrespect, I lean Patriots clearly. Enough has been said about Josh. I've sent Dave every video possible. I do not dislike Josh. I dislike the rhetoric around Josh. I dislike this belief that Josh is infallible. I dislike this idea that Josh can get lauded for everything Lamar gets criticized for. I hate this idea that Josh can have the worst game possible and everybody's still saying, nobody's criticizing his game. Everybody's saying, but the interception, but this and that, ignoring that the game never went to overtime if old boy who was holding the Broncos defensive tackle or defensive end, if they would have called that holding like it should have been, it would have been the safety. The game was over. Not to mention
Well, look,
Tre'Davious White tackling Marvin Mims 2 full seconds before the ball got there, no call. Like it was on both sides, my boy. Go ahead, Dave.
Well,
I'm sorry.
if Josh was infallible, we'd be talking about a Bills Patriots AFC Championship game, because all he had to do was cut out a few of those turnovers and Buffalo wins that game. So he's clearly not infallible.
He don't even have to turn out he don't even have to cut turnovers out. Just hit Dawson Knox in the crossing pattern. It's touchdown. But the point I'm trying to make real fast, Sonny, the point I'm trying to make is, I see what you're trying to do, Dave, and you're not wrong. The problem is, people are talking about the Bills losing. They're not talking about how bad Josh was. This was any other quarterback. If this was the Ravens, if this was the Bengals, if this was even Mahomes and the Chiefs, we would be talking about how that quarterback let them down. But because it's Josh and he's coddled, and he is the biggest coddled quarterback we've seen in recent memory, like you just said, it's not about how bad he played. It's that the Bills just didn't make it, and all the other excuses, and the interception, and the refs, and the this and the that.
Ray, you have a point.
One dude even tried to say that the fumble that the boy gave up at the end of the first half, they didn't blame it on him. They said the offensive lineman should have got it, couldn't have grabbed it.
Hey, you should
come on, dog.
You should spend less time thinking about Josh Allen, is the advice I'm going to give you.
Let me approach it this way. Let me go to this. Tunney.
He's living rent-free in your head right now, Ray.
Hold on.
He makes $100 million a year. My God.
He didn't put shit for rent in your head either. He just fucking drop a few coins to his Ray.
Please.
All right. Let's focus on the game at hand. Tunney, I go to you. What do the Broncos have to do to pull this out?
They won't, and I'll tell you why. New England is won because of one reason in the playoffs. You can't run the ball against New England. The Chargers ran for 87 yards, and 50 some of that was Justin Herbert. Okay? That's not happening.
Running for his life.
It's not happening with Stiddy. It's not happening. The Texans ran for 47 yards?
Like, yeah, but they had to run a game all year.
If Denver can't run the fucking ball, they don't have a fucking chance. And they don't. This will be a double-digit victory for New England.
I tend to agree. I think obviously this comes down to Denver's defense. If they can keep them in the game, force a few turnovers, maybe a pick six or a scoop and score, maybe something on special teams, simplify the game so that Stidham doesn't have to do it all. That even if they can't run the ball, like Tunney said, and I think he's right. I don't see Denver running very effectively against this Patriots defense. But if you can simplify the game plan, streamline things so that it's not falling all on your quarterback, Denver's got a good enough defense that they can pull this out or at least make it interesting. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not, because I think, New England's going to go in there. Now, New England's got to be really careful about not going into this game overconfident, thinking, they've lost their quarterback, they're reeling and all that. You still got a Super Bowl winning coach on the other side in Sean Payton, who knows what it takes to get the job done. Mike Vrabel has been in those games before, obviously, never coached in a game as big as this one. So there are these intangibles that always go into these situations. And I give Denver a puncher's chance if their defense can do what they've been doing all year long. But ultimately, I think New England's they're too good. They're too well-rounded. They don't have the injury problems. I mean, if you knock Drake May out of the game, I don't even know who is New England's backup quarterback. Jacoby Brissett, or I'm not even sure.
Remember, Jacoby's in Arizona. I don't know.
Yeah, he's in Arizona now. So I don't even know who the Patriots backup is. If it comes down to a game of backups, then you got the home field. I mean, you do have Denver. You've got the altitude. I think it stays close for a half or so, and then ultimately New England pulls away. I don't know if it'll be double digits because I just don't have that much faith in the Patriots offense. But I think New England wins this to go back to the Super Bowl.
So just a couple points of clarification. Josh Dobbs and Tommy DeVito are the backups in New England. And
Tommy DeVito's in New England now?
Mike Vrabel coached the Tennessee Titans to the conference championship game in 2019, which they lost.
Saw what happened there.
So he has coached in a game this big before.
they should have never been in that game. We shit the bed. So yes. Um, to Tony's point, he took one of the things I was going to say. Vrabel has the gravitas to understand the moment. I don't think he'll let the moment get too big for him and the team. We're all locked in step that the Patriots are winning this game. But the question, what do they have to do? Dave laid it out perfectly. I don't think this is as big of a disparity as Tony May. Stidham is nowhere the quarterback of Drake May. But I don't think he has to be great. I just think he has to be efficient and not turn the ball over.
Got to
Denver's
be good.
defense,
Don't have to be great. Just be
yeah,
good.
Denver's defense is good enough. I'm thinking of, and I don't mean to keep talking Ravens, but I'm thinking of the old Ray Lewis line. I just need him. If we keep him to 20, we got the game. I think if Denver could keep them to 20 or less, they got a real shot. Because Drake May, as great as he is, has had a very bad postseason. And Denver has a great enough defense to where they can maybe get a turnover or two. And they got a puncher's chance. But I do think this is the week going into the MVP vote. I think Drake gonna ball, personally.
Yeah. Tony, you got any last thoughts on this AFC Championship game, my man?
Nothing else to say. Denver will not be in this game.
Okay. There you go.
Jared Stidham hasn't
PC
thrown
Tunney.
a pass in the NFL since 2022. The Patriots are giving up an average of 67 rushing yards in the playoffs. Connect the dots. Fa la 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 la.
You know what that means, good folks? Jared Stidham has a 435 passing yard game.
Likely. I'm 1-7 this year predicting the playoff games. So you know what? At 9-3-1, the law of averages is catching up on my ass, isn't it?
It'll happen. All right. Let us move over to the NFC and talk about the divisional games that have led into the NFC Championship game. It is round 3, fellas. It is round 3 of the trilogy. And boy, oh boy, Seahawks Rams are playing for the NFC Championship. And if it's anywhere close as good as the second game that they had, we are in for a sure treat on this one. Turning to the Seahawks first, I will say this: Sam Darnold, even hurt, answered a lot of the questions and the criticism I had for him. I did not think he would respond as well as he did, but there's an example of Darnold wasn't great. He was just good enough because the defense just absolutely obliterated the San Francisco 49ers, and they never got out of the blocks, never had a chance. Those injuries that I tried to downplay in the preview last week caught up with San Francisco in a big way. They just didn't have what they needed to compete with Seattle. On the other end, we had the Rams and the Bears, and I know I was the only one who was picking the Bears to win that game. And look, Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter, that fourth down play is going to live in Chicago lore for a very long time. And
how hard can you shove a guy in the fucking back and have a ref miss the I mean, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know, Tony.
Ask
the people in Buffalo about it. Ask the people in Buffalo about
like
missed
this
calls.
is some brilliant thing that fucking happened. He ran backwards like a fucking moron, and he threw it up where 2 defenders were, but his offensive player pushed one of them in the fucking back, and the refs are blind. What else do you want? That's what happened.
Hey Ray, there's a lot of pain and shame in Tunney's eyes.
No, it's just that's the truth. There's only just flash truth.
Hey, Tony.
All right.
What team do you pull for?
Right now, the Los Angeles Rams.
Well,
yeah, there
okay,
you go.
Got you. Okay.
I want to say this, though, before I turn it over to you guys.
Make me go get my fucking flag, asshole.
You've got to give the Los Angeles Rams an unbelievable amount of credit because Stafford looked like ass for that entire game. Didn't do anything. If he plays remotely close to how he normally plays, then, you guys were saying that the Rams would win this thing easily. That's probably more realistic. He looked like shit. A lot of it had to do with the weather. It was brutal out in Chicago last week. But at the end of the game, as great as Caleb Williams, there you go. There's Green Bay Packers. Exactly. Tony's already tried to trade his backup quarterback away.
There's only one thing I root for more than the Green Bay Packers.
Miller Lite. I was going to say a dead ass. Oh, no. Sorry, Tony. It's not that. Look, I think, as great as Caleb was, he did make that critical mistake in overtime that opened the door, and Stafford took advantage of it. As soon as they got that turnover, you could just see everything on the Rams sideline change. Stafford came out, did what he needed to do. You got to give the Rams so much credit, though, because the way that game ended in regulation would have deflated 90% of other teams in a similar situation. Hostile environment, had the game won. Bullshit Hail. I mean, it was a Hail Mary. It wasn't the Jaden Daniels level of a Hail Mary from a year before, but I would honestly, I take that back. It was bigger because of the stakes. This is a divisional playoffs, a shot at the championship game. That being said, Tony, let me go to you first. Your thoughts. I know you're the offensive PI that wasn't called. I grant you that. And I know you're part of that's serious and part of that is just you hate the Bears, and I get all that. But your thoughts about that Chicago Los Angeles game, and am I right? Did the Rams impress you with their resilience in this one? Because they could have packed it in a lot of times.
It's like 6 degrees that night, so
balmy by Wisconsin standards
compared to what's going on right now. Yeah, that's about right. Listen, I've said this multiple times already. Chicago Bears are going to be a very good football team for a good amount of time now. Matt Stafford is a Hall of Famer. Matthew Stafford may be a top 10 all-time quarterback if he can finish this season off with a Super Bowl. That'd be 2 of them. With an MVP, maybe another Super Bowl MVP. I know, no, Cooper Kupp had the Super Bowl MVP. But Sean McVay, I heard this the other day. Like, someone was asking Shefty about the hot seat in the NFL. And he's like, they're all hot seats. He goes, I can only think of one coach that even if he's at like 3-14 next year, they're not going anywhere. That's Sean McVay. He's easily the best coach in the league, in my opinion. And he's got the better quarterback. They're just a good football team. The Bears are going to be good. Ben Johnson's a douche, though, so whatever.
So, thinking about the games, the Rams disappoint me. And I think this is why they're the 5 seed. And this is why the rhetoric has moved from Stafford running away from it with MVP to there being a conversation. They have every metric, every situation possible. 2 amazing receivers, one who's probably one of the best we've seen in a long time, a great running back, good enough offensive line. Their offense can be so stagnant sometimes. And it's wild to think with all of the parts. And with, as you said, the best head coach. If he ain't the best head coach, he's damn sure the best offensive mind in the game. And so I worry about them. We've seen it happen too many times this year. This is not a misnomer. This is not, oh, well, one game it happened. This happened, we can name 4 or 5 games it's happened in this regular season alone is why they went from number 1 to number 5. So the Bears do what they always do. Hang around till 4th quarter. Is what it is. They're going to play them damn Seahawks, bro. Them dudes out here trying to hurt people, man. Them dudes out there headhunting, and they have something to prove. Mike Mack got those boys out there acting like they trying to get to the league, not in the league. They are hungry. And the Rams don't look hungry to me. They look like they're expecting to be in the places that there are. It almost looks like they knew the year they were going to have. We got a 4-year Devontae. We know what's about to go down. We here, baby. We're going to get through the season. Go ahead. We know we got one of the most statistically clutch quarterbacks of all time. We'll be fine. And then they run into people like Bryce Young. They run into people like Michael Penix or Kirk Cousins. They run into people, all these teams that they've lost to or struggled with. They run into Caleb Williams. They run into all these people, and then they don't play great. Whereas the Seahawks, Darnold is nothing compared to them. I would say their offense, with respect and exception to Jackson Smith, my N-word, like, other than him, like, there's nobody on there. There's put offense for offense. Take Jackson Smith and Jigba and Puka out. Who else would you take first from the Seahawks over what the Rams got?
Kenneth
Not
Walker,
many.
the third.
I wouldn't take him over Kyron. I wouldn't.
Easily.
I wouldn't take him over Kyron.
That's why.
No shot.
Yeah, for
No
sure.
shot.
The problem is
No
Charbonnet's
shot.
out, so the backfield is going to be better because you have Kyren and you have who's the back? Who's the
Blake
fucking
Corum.
backup?
Blake Corum. Kyron ran for 1,200 yards again this year. Nobody talks about him. He's not flashy. Kyron is fantastic. But that's fair. Respect to your thought on that. Point I'm trying to make is the Seahawks are hungry, dog. They have something to prove. The Rams feel like they've already proven it. And the Seahawks are the better team. They have the better opportunity. And it is hard as fuck to win in Seattle at Lumen Field. I got the Seahawks, bro.
Rams beat them by 2 in LA. They
Yes.
lost by 1 in overtime, 38-37. The
Agreed.
Rams have rushed for 120 yards both
Agreed.
games.
Agreed.
And Sam Darnold against the Rams this year has thrown 2 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
Agreed. I said nothing about the offense. I don't know why you're even talking about what Sam Darnold did. I said
I'm
nothing
just telling
about
you who's going to win.
So-
I just want to tell you
So
who's going to win.
Tony's going
You
with the
said that
Rams. You're going with the
Both
Rams,
games
right?
were close. And since
were.
from that moment on, what do the teams look like?
They look like they both won enough games to get to the conference championship.
So Tony, you're picking the Rams, I take it, in this one.
Yes.
Here's a couple things about this game. You know how the modern trend is for whoever wins the coin toss to defer, so they get the ball first in the second half?
Mm-hmm.
This is a game where whoever wins the coin toss may take the ball first because of what happened in Seattle last week. If the Rams win the toss, you're going to be like, no, we are not kicking this so that this can get returned for a touchdown on the chance that because that turned that entire game.
Good point.
It set the tone for that. If Seattle wins the toss, they may say, yeah, we're going to take it to do that exact thing. So you could see something different at the start of this game right off the bat. But yeah, I think Tunney hit on the thing that concerns me about the Seattle and I said at the outset that Darnold showed me a lot last week against San Francisco, but that's against the Niners. And I think back to that Rams-Vikings game last year where they destroyed Sam Darnold. Tunney's right. The 2 games this year, his touchdown to interception ratio is obviously lopsided in the other direction. You do have that crowd in Seattle. Seattle is playing lights out. They have just looked, one game they looked absolutely dominant. I think you can throw all that out the window in a game against the LA Rams because the familiarity between these teams, familiarity breeds contempt, obviously, with these guys. They don't like each other. The games have been so good. I expect this one to be this will not be 44-6. This is going to be an extremely close game. Matt Stafford won't be affected by the elements nearly as much in Seattle, so I expect him to have a big bounce back game this week. I'm with Tunney. I like the Rams in this one. I saw enough from the Rams and the Seahawks that I like the Rams. If it's close and it comes down to crunch time, does Darnold have enough to lead his team to victory? I don't think so. I'm with Tunney. I'm going with the Rams to make it to the Super Bowl. We get a Rams-Patriots matchup for the 3rd time in a Super Bowl? Maybe the Rams can actually win one.
Just because Seattle got a prettier stadium and newer stadium than the old ass shit in Chicago don't mean that it ain't as cold.
It will not be 5 degrees in Seattle, Ray. Hold on. Let me look. I'll look. You guys talk. I'm looking up the temperature tomorrow in Seattle. Go ahead.
I'm waiting.
Go ahead. No dead air here, guys. Talk
We
amongst
out there.
yourselves.
They know what's up. Hey, viewers. Hey, listeners.
Tomorrow,
All right.
for a game in
38
Seattle,
degrees.
Yeah.
38.
41 I have. No wind, though.
Yeah, 42 degrees tomorrow in Seattle.
No wind. So that's a nice day. That's football weather.
That is a perfect day for Matt Stafford.
To throw no interceptions.
The touchdowns first.
I didn't say he's going to throw no interceptions.
3 or both. How about that?
Ray said massive. That probably
3
do
or
it
both.
for him.
Shout out to Devin
That's fine.
Witherspoon.
Darnold throw 9 interceptions anyway.
That's fine. They'll still win. They'll win by touchdown. They win in spite of.
Ray has already said Seahawks are winning. Tunney and I are going Rams. I think it'll be a really good game. I really do. I think, they've shown these 2 teams are just not separated by much this year. And I think this will be another one of those. I do like Seattle at home, but I got more faith in the Rams. I got more faith in Sean McVay and Matt Stafford than Mike and Sam Darnold.
No,
But
shout out to the chickens.
chickens. All right. That pretty much wraps up. There is one thing we have to talk about. And I know Ray is happy as can be about
Good thing.
this development that we just happened as we got on the air here. So coaching changes happening, right, Ray? I mean, we got some coaching changes going on, and I mean,
Well, we hadn't talked
big
about any of
news.
them, really, honestly.
Well, I mean, we talked about the Bills firing. Who was it? McDermott who got fired.
Yeah, but we hadn't talked
but
about
I know
like, some
this
of the
is
hires.
yeah. This is the one you really okay. We can talk about some of the hires, but
We
I know
don't
this
really
is the
have
one you
to, but I'm
really want to
just-
talk about.
Well, we
This is
don't
the one
have to-
you
we don't-
really want to talk about. I know it, Ray.
Well, he
Well,
wants
I'd
to
love
talk
to
about
talk
two.
about.
He wants to talk about 2 hires.
I'd love to talk about Jesse Minter right now, but I mean, yes. So go ahead. But go ahead. Go ahead. Hope.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have found a replacement for Mike Tomlin. I say replacement, not really, but they found a new coach, and it is none other than Mike McCarthy, who led the Packers to a championship and led the Cowboys to the toilet. And now
Really?
he's going. Well, he led them to the playoffs. They never got over the hump. I mean,
So
come on.
let's say the important part out loud first. Mike McCarthy is not a bad coach. He's a really good coach.
He's not a bad coach. No.
Mike McCarthy is not the answer. I think
Mike McCarthy was 49-35 in Dallas. He's like 185 and 120 with 2 ties. Mike McCarthy is a Hall of Fame football coach.
100%. I give 100%. So is Wade Phillips and Marty Schottenheimer. I'll give him this. He's going from maybe the worst ownership in football to maybe the best. The Rooneys have been a fantastic ownership group forever. Mike, and maybe this is because they've had Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher for so long. Remember, 3 coaches in 50 years. But their front office does not get involved with the team unless the only time they do is when it's we might have to pay them too much, and they're like, we're not doing that. They set their precedent. I'm fine with that as long as it's the same. The problem here is so much of the league is getting younger, is getting more. There's more new offense and more new defense and more different schemes, and things are different now. The spread offense evolved to the zone read and hybrid offense. Things are so different now, and you see all these people getting hired, are with respect to my boy John Harbaugh, who, by the way, is a CEO quarterback, so he's not even CEO coach, so he's not even coaching people anyway, really. All these people are younger, fresher. Look at all the people right now we talked about, with the exception of respect to Sean Payton, right? Vrabel, young dude. McVay, just comparatively, he's a young dude. McVay just turned 40. And Mike Mack is like 43, 44. So I just think the game as it is now might have passed him by comparatively to what the everybody else was around. I don't like the move. I love the move for us. Hate the move for them. But Tony's the expert in Mike McCarthy, so
Yeah, Tony, you love this move or what?
Well, the big question is, do the Steelers want Aaron Rodgers back? Like, this is obviously a conversation that they had with Mike McCarthy. Their split was not great. Not at all. I think Aaron Rodgers moves on. I think it's a good hire for Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. Mike McCarthy's a very good football coach. Mike McCarthy, unlike Marty Schottenheimer and Wade Phillips, Ray, who are not in the Hall of Fame and will likely never be in the Hall of Fame, Mike McCarthy will be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. The other 2 didn't.
And think about this. Move past the argument we're having about Mike McCarthy and how good of a coach he is or not. We all know he's a good football coach. He's from Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
He's now going to have been the head coach of the 3 most infamous franchises in the NFL.
Crazy.
The Steelers, the Packers, and the Cowboys. And I'd bet dollars to donuts he's going to have a winning record when it's all said and done in Pittsburgh, just
That
like
ain't
he did in
shit.
Dallas.
Mike Tomlin never lost over 500.
I'm not talking about Mike Tomlin. I'm just talking about Mike McCarthy. I'm
No,
not
right, but
saying
you're
he's a
saying
better.
he's gonna have
Listen, if I own the Pittsburgh Steelers, I did everything I could to keep Mike Tomlin.
no,
And I
that,
wouldn't hire Mike McCarthy either,
right.
because I know Mike McCarthy's never going to win another Super Bowl. I knew that in 2011.
Right. The point I'm making of all of that is Mike Tomlin never lost either. So saying that he's gonna have a winning record means nothing ultimately. The
Well, it
Steelers
does. It
always have
means
a winning
that
record.
it means that he coached the 3 most infamous franchises and had a winning record at every single place.
No,
That's
okay,
what I'm saying.
we're talking different conversations. I'm talking about for the good of the Pittsburgh Steelers, their fans, and their
Who do you think
and
they
their
should have
ownership.
hired?
They should have went young. I would have went for Salah. I would have went for Mentor. I would have went for
Salah's a tough
um.
one. The Titans
I would have
is a
went
dumbass
for
hire. I'll
another
tell you
guy.
who I would have hired. Brian Flores from Minnesota.
Brian
the D
Flores would be
coordinator. That's
perfect.
who I would have hired.
But
That was
Brian
probably my
Flores is
most
probably
interesting hire that's not going to get hired, because
he's probably
Minnesota just upped his contract and said, hey,
yeah.
sign this, and if someone offers you a head coaching job, you can take it.
Flores is probably too similar to Mike Tomlin, which is why they want to do it.
It's possible.
Another guy that's similar in that same vein who's been getting interviewed is a guy like Anthony Weaver. But I definitely would have been young.
The problem is some of these assistant coaches that are highly sought after are still coaching, and you can't get interviews with them yet, right? The
Right.
4 teams that are left have a lot
Yeah.
of assistants that are going to get interviews.
Yeah.
Whoever can wait.
I think after tomorrow, you're going to see some more movement going on because of the thing Tunney says. These guys will be freed up. They'll be able to talk, and we'll see some more of these vacancies get filled. And we could talk about that for a while longer, but we're not going to, because we got other things to talk about on a different show that we need to get to. But that's going to do it for this edition of the Four Corners podcast. This
Giannis,
week,
I love
guys.
you. You can go now. We're tired of hearing you, bitch.
We're not
Bye.
going to get into basketball.
Thanks for the memories, buddy.
Tunney, why don't you let people know where can they check you and Ray Cash out, since you're going to do it anyway? So
At its PC Tunney, at its Ray Cash, Cheershot Radio Network, all your favorite streaming platforms. Thank you for your time in Milwaukee, Giannis. We will always love you, but it's better for
Brought you
both
a title.
parties. But it's better for both parties if we trade you before the trade. Well, I wanted to see how it played out.
he got you a championship over Ray's Phoenix Suns, no less.
Whoa! Not important to bring up.
I'm
Not
sorry, Ray.
important to bring up.
Chris Middleton, who's wasting away in Washington right now. But anyway,
Yeah, he's doing
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. He's all right.
This last thing I'll just say, though, I personally had a chance to interact with Giannis and Chris Middleton, both pleasant, very nice people, and so are both their significant others.
As far as me, you can follow me on X at AttitudeAg. That is at AttitudeAGG. Go to the website, attitudeofregression.com, and of course, check out the YouTube channel, the Attitude of Regression YouTube channel, which I keep just uploading stuff for the fuck of it. Somebody's watching it. Why not? Yeah, exactly.
The fuck of it. Yeah.
But that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Four Corners podcast. For those of you who may have got the post earlier and you're looking for bandwagon nerds, give us about 10, 15 minutes, maybe at the most, to come back online. We got some trailers to watch, fellas. We got a little bit more Battle Royal madness coming up. We got this week in Warner Brothers, because there's always something happening with Warner Brothers. That is coming up in just a few minutes. I want to thank you guys for watching this and for tuning in to the Four Corners podcast. We really appreciate it. We will be back in just a few minutes to talk some bandwagon nerds. We love you guys. Stay warm out there and enjoy the conference championship games, because they probably are going to be pretty good. We'll see. We're doomed. Exactly. Until next time, that's it for us and the Four Corners podcast. We'll catch you guys very soon.